Working Class Beer Reviews is looking at Bud Light Lime. I don't usually buy this product, but I had it over the weekend and it's like, you know what? I need to save one of these for a review. It's a 16-ounce aluminum screw bottle can. I don't typically see this product. I'm using a wheat beer glass mainly because it's a pint, so I wanted to be able to fit as much as I could in there. And I'm going to pour it aggressive. We're going to let the haters hate, and I hope they hate me in the comments. I'm totally cool with that. So yeah, come at me, bro. It says brewed with real lime peels, and it's got like a peeled lime over here. The sun's going down. Fall has begun, so the sun will be setting sooner. So if I'm going to do these videos outside, I'm going to have to do them earlier in the day. I am at Tap Into Your Beer while this sets up, which it's already setting up. 4.2% alcohol by volume, 116 calories. So 4.2%, that's about the same as regular Bud Light. 116 is a little higher in calories. I want to say that Bud Light's around 95 or so, 95, 99, somewhere in there. No fat, no carb, or 8 carbs, I'm sorry, I apologize. 8 carbs, 0.9 grams of protein. But it says, because brewing is a natural process, values are approximate and may vary slightly. Thank you very much for that. Bud Light Lime, brewed with real lime peels. This beer is clean and crisp with natural lime flavor in every sip, and now made with real cane sugar. Ooh, I did not know that, because, well, let's see. They say that. Ingredients: water. They go by the most used. So the first one's water, obviously. Corn, which Bud Light actually does not use corn, it uses rice. Barley malt, so it uses more corn than it does barley malt. Cane sugar, citric acid, which is going to be your lime, flavor, natural flavor, lime peel, and hop extract. So even though it uses real cane sugar, maybe it reduces the amount of. So they use corn as an adjunct. So I don't know. That's I don't get it. And that's it. That's on Tap Into Your Beer. One thing I was curious. I was thinking to myself, when did this come out? Because I think of other lime light beers that came out, and the first one that comes to mind would be Miller Chill, which came out in the mid 2000s, or early to mid 2000s. There was also Tequiza, but that was more like a Corona type comparison. It supposedly had like agave in it, so this is nothing like that. But Miller Chill, so by German standards, this would be like a shandy in a sense. Although shandies actually have real citrus juice. It's like a Arnold Palmer of light beers. So before I get into that, what do we got? It's very straw, clear, sweaty glass, but no head retention. As you can see, even with the aggressive pour to allow it to aerate. And that doesn't surprise me by design with all the ingredients that it has. I don't think it was ever meant to be poured into a glass and examined. It's meant to be just enjoyed straight from the container. More than, I don't know if they sell this on draft. It doesn't really, on Tap Into Your Beer, surprisingly, it does not say what configurations it sells it in. They should. They really shouldn't. And I'm sure the Bud Light website maybe has something on it. So yeah, clear. It looks like Bud Light. Very straw. No floaties or no haze. Just super clear. So let's give it a smell. Okay. So I get like a lime essence, obviously, in a beer, just a light beer. Yeah, with just a faint lime aroma. If it retained a head, I probably, or maybe I smelled it right after I poured it, I probably could have got something out of it. So let's give it a, I've been getting too involved in my own personal feelings on some of these videos. It's about the review. Let's do the review. Then if I have time, I'll talk about my own experience about this. Yeah, it's lime. I make limoncello as a hobby, so I use zest from citrus to do that. So I get that kind of like that zest, not like a pith, not definitely not the pith. So like the zest itself, not the rind. I kind of get that, and there's typically like oil in citrus fruits. I don't know if they get it fresh or sometimes you can get dehydrated. Because I'm guessing they're getting the peels from probably processing from Minute Maid or Dole or someone like that. From the processing of products, they'll get the byproducts. I doubt they're getting whole limes and peeling them themselves and then discarding the rest of the fruit. It wouldn't make sense. It's not sustainable. So I get that. It's a touch sweet. And I'm not saying that because I know there's cane sugar in it, but it is a touch sweet. Still very crisp, clean. Definitely on the drier side. Bud and Bud Light, of all the macros, they are the driest beer because of their use of rice. This does not use rice, but this still has that kind of dry effect, so I'm not sure what to equate that to. The main reason, I'm just not a light beer drinker. I mean, I'll drink it, I don't no problem, but to buy it for myself, it's expensive. Budweiser products are they're like the big bullies of the group, so they always want to charge more. I don't know why. They really wanted to win in the fight. They would just charge less and outprice everybody else by pricing lower and making them have to drop their prices in order to compete. If that makes sense. Like the old gas wars. You ever hear stories about the gas wars where gas stations would keep lowering their prices to get people to come to them? Oh, that felt good. That was definitely from that. There is some rising bubbles, so the carbonation's still there. Yeah, it's good. Not necessarily my thing. Like I said, the German Shandy is more like beer mixed with like lemonade or orange juice. You can get in lime or grapefruit, citrus type fruits. Like I said, like the Arnold Palmer, which is like a half lemonade, half iced tea. This is not like that. It doesn't necessarily have the essence of fruit in it, just the peel, rind kind of flavor. I mean, I see like my wife enjoys these things. When they're super cold. When you get these aluminum cans, you put them in ice, they get really cold. More so than glass, I believe. And yeah, because you can get these in 12-ounce bottles, 25-ounce gas station cans, these 16-ounce bottles. You might get 12-ounce cans. I doubt it's on draft. Let's take another sip. Yeah, it's a fine product. There's really no fault to be had with it. It's just about preference, really. Definitely a summertime drink. When it comes to stuff like this, I could see someone dropping a little thing of tequila in there. You know how people make those like Corona Ritas where they put a thing of Corona into the margarita, and I could see someone doing that with this. Any sort of beer cocktail or whatever. Yeah, I mentioned Miller Chill there earlier. That's one of the first ones I think of. And then this came along. I looked it up. It says May of 2008. So that was around the time, just about a month or so after I moved back to where I live now in Sedalia. I moved from Kansas City back to here, my hometown, in the spring of 2008. So yeah, I do recall when it was released. It was at the old label, the old Bud Light label. It had like a swoosh and a lime. Miller Chill is still around. I like Miller Chill because when I lived in Kansas City, when I lived on the Kansas side, if you wanted full strength beer, you had to go to the liquor store, and you had to buy it warm. But they had Miller Chill on sales, like $2.50 for a 6-pack or $5 for a 12-pack. They were just like trying to liquidate the stock out of it. So I was buying it like crazy while it was cheap, And that's kind of what I would do with this. If it was on sale, I would buy it, especially if I knew I was going to have someone over that would enjoy it. Ooh, splashed me a little bit. Or if it was just so ridiculously cheap, I just couldn't pass it up. Yeah, of course I'd buy it. That's kind of what I'm about, value. You know, the best deal you can find. That's kind of my thing. Around the late 2000s, 2010 or so maybe, I remember Coors had what they call a Radler, which is kind of like a shandy. And it was like lemon and orange or something like that. I forgot what it was called. Maybe it was just called Coors Radler. It was like a summertime release. If anybody in the comments remembers that one, it went on for a few years. It was in like the Coors Light can. But none of the other big ones that I can recall, at least that are distributed in my area, did that. Busch came out with like an apple beer. Natural Light did like the Natter Days, which is like a pink lemonade type something beer, light beer. And I've tried those. Not really much like this. Not really my thing. I'm not saying they were bad or anything like that. It's just about preference. I like the taste of beer. You know, if I want, you know, something that's limey or lemonade-y, I'll drink something lime or lemonade. And if I want to put alcohol in it, I can put a shot of vodka or something in there. So, yeah, it's fine. It's a fine product. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing to complain about. I want to say I bought an 8-pack of these when I was down in Northwest Arkansas in Belleville. Well, I take that back. It's right on the state line. So when we bought alcohol, we went to Macadoodles and Walmart were the two different places that we went, depending on our needs. I think I bought this at Walmart. And it's considered Pineville, Missouri, but technically it's like Jane, Missouri. And people from that area know what I'm talking about. Because when you get to Arkansas, they still have like dry counties and stuff like that over there. So depending on what town or county you're in, you have to buy alcohol a certain way, or if there's any alcohol at all. So I can't believe that there's still states that are beholden to that. They should have repealed that stuff a long time ago. But yeah, you know, I don't really rate stuff, but I would, if someone gave this to me, I would drink it. If I was having guests over that I knew enjoyed this, I would buy it for them. I would only buy it for myself if it was just too cheap to pass up. Which most Anheuser-Busch products are not like that. They're pretty proud of their stuff, and they let you know in their prices. So anyway, do you guys like this style? Do you like Bud Light Lime? Bud Light used to have a string of different products. Remember the Bud Light Golden Wheat? And then they had all sorts of different things there for a bit. They kind of went through a phase. But this one's still hanging on. It's got the newer style label. You know, it's gone through some label changes. And I knew I needed to review it. So hopefully I did well enough and I covered all the bases. So yeah, let me know what you think of Bud Light Lime, or if you like flavored beers at all, if that's your thing. Put it in the comments, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you guys later.